We about to get into some grown woman stuff. We about to get into some grown woman tea. Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome back to my channel, Simply Kee Samone. If you are new here, I want to say welcome, and if you're returning, I want to say welcome back. Here on my channel, I talk all things mindset, growth, and lifestyle. And today, baby girl, we are jumping into how to become that woman. Instead of becoming that girl, all of that girl trends, you know, I want to be that girl, I want to be that girl. No, we want to be that woman. So go ahead and grab you some water, kombucha, or wine. Today we are sipping wine, girl, okay? Because we about to get into some grown woman stuff. We about to get into some grown woman tea. So the wine is accurate. As a matter of fact, let's get a little refill because baby, we about to get into some things. Okay, girl, welcome back to my growth and mindset sit down videos. I really have been enjoying doing these. So if you have been enjoying these, and make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And then if this is not the first one that you are watching, then go ahead and subscribe, girl. I got plenty of tea, plenty of tips, and we are growing and evolving together. So yes, let's just hop into today's topic. When it comes to becoming that woman, when we finally hit that age or hit that era in our life where we're like, yes, I know I want more, I know I can be more, but I just feel like I haven't broken into that level of my womanhood yet. I am on the cusp of turning 30, and baby, that is like the prime time era of, yes, I am about to elevate. I am a grown ass woman, okay? I am a grown ass woman, so I need to be elevating and be the best woman that I can be. Tip number one, do not be afraid to be yourself. There is so much power in just being your true, authentic self and just being who you truly are. The reason why this is so powerful is because there is no one on this earth that is like you. Absolutely no one. So why would you want to duplicate, replicate, copycat, or imitate someone else who isn't you? When you think of that woman, she is someone who is unapologetically her. She knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she is going to go after it no matter what. She's not compromising anything. She's not growing to try to be someone else. She is truly walking in her divine power, walking in her divine light, and being authentically her. When you're younger and when you're in your 20s or when you just graduate high school, you know, you're coming into yourself. You're either going off to college, you're going off to work, you're going off to some type of trade school, or ultimately you're just starting your life. So you're really trying to figure yourself out. And it's easy to fall into those realms of, okay, you know, I see this woman doing this, I see this woman doing that. And, you know, that looks appealing to me. That looks like something that I would want to do. With that being all well and fine, it is so great to take inspiration from other women or to be, you know, motivated by other women. But ultimately, you want to take bits and pieces from women that you see, women that you look up to, and apply it to your daily life. But you do not necessarily have to imitate or become who that woman is that you are looking up to. One of the most amazing things that you can do in life is just really hone in on yourself. Focus on yourself, because there's so much beauty in you. You have to learn to love the woman that you see when you look in the mirror every day. And you can't do that if the woman that you see is a copycat of someone else. So always being true to yourself, always staying true to what it is that you want to do is so very important when it comes to becoming that woman. When it comes to creating or curating your personal style, experiment with trying new styles. It doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, what's on trend right now or anything. You can set your own trend. If there's a piece of clothing or something that you genuinely like for yourself, then go after it. You do not have to wear any clothes just because you see the world's wearing it on social media. But if that is something that you do like, then go ahead and go for it. But don't try to just adopt a style because it is what's popular. Because I'm telling you, when you're confident and you're walking in your own light and walking in your own right, you are gonna glow. It doesn't matter what you have on. As long as you're owning it and you're confident in it, you are going to show up as that woman every single time. Individuality is something that is super, super beautiful. And that's something that you really, really want to hone in on. Whenever you are becoming the highest form of yourself, or whenever you look at women that really motivate you, or women that you can, that you aspire to be like, there's something about them that draws you to them, right? There's something about each and every one of us. And if you are not being able to hone in on what it is about yourself that really draws people to you, or that really makes you stand out, you are going to sink in and not really elevate to become that woman that you always wanted to be. Why would you minimize her? Bring her to life. It's definitely something that is quite intimidating, especially when you think about social media and you think about, you know, the women that you see on a daily basis, you know, BBLs, tummy tucks, lipo 360. And while it's fine and dandy to get these procedures done, if that's something that you want to do, absolutely. But whatever you do, own it. But don't think that you have to do those things to become that woman, or a woman that you would like to see, or a woman that you think is desirable, or a woman that is shown to be desirable on social media. I promise you. And the trend is kind of changing. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but from what I've been seeing, you know, the natural girls are coming back. Okay. Try different things, and soon enough, you'll be able to curate your own style. You'll be able to tap into the things that you really like, and you will be walking in that confident, grown woman, sexy, feminine, know herself, and you are going to be turning heads. Tip number 2, become a woman of mystery. Now, this is something that I've always prided myself on, you know, not always being seen, not always being on the scene, not, you know, having everybody, you know, all in my business. There is something very, very sexy and just grown about a woman that someone can wonder about, whether that be a woman or a man. Whenever they don't quite know everything about you, or whenever people, it creates mystery, it creates a want. People are going to wonder, like, what is she up to? What is she doing? Like, what does she do on her regular basis? I might see her pop out here, I might see her pop out there, but what is she about? That really creates that era of, I am that woman. Stop oversharing. Now, I know we get so tempted to overshare on social media. I know we get so tempted to overshare with just our friends and our associates and things like that, but you do not have to share your every move. I really touched on this in my video about moving in silence and the power of moving in silence. I will make sure to link that video right here, because I really went into depth, and there is so much power in not oversharing. You will always have a mystery about yourself. You will always have that element to you that people are drawn to, because let's face it, when people are curious, when people are wondering, you become that untouchable piece. Be selective with the places and the people that you interact with, the places that you go, the people that you interact with. You don't want to be for every body type person. And this doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, snooty or snobby or stuck up, because I have friends like that are so different. I have friends that are, you know, really prim and proper, and I have some friends that like to party and that like to get down, and I can fit into each and every one of those categories, you know, when need be, at the right place at the right time. But be very selective. You don't have to be everywhere all the time. You do not have to be in the club every weekend, girl, especially if you are trying to become that high value, sought after woman. You are not going to be in the club every weekend. It's okay to go out. It's okay to drink. It's okay to party, because I'm telling you, one thing about it, when the time comes around and, you know, it's been like, you know, a month or a couple weeks, I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna get cute, and I'm gonna have a drink. There is nothing wrong with that at all. But there are other things that you can do to make you feel like you are having fun, to make you feel like you are desirable, to make you feel like, you know, you are having a good time. It doesn't necessarily have to be always in the club. You do not have to go out with every single person. You do not have to feel like that you have to show up to every single event. There is something about a woman that is selective with her time. People are going to start to wonder, like, dang, I wonder what she has going on, or dang, I wonder, you know, if I could be a part of what she has going on, because you're not always on the scene. People are wondering. Creating that mystery about you really gives off, I am about my stuff. Now, whether you do have other things going on or whether you don't, it will always seem like you do. And not to say that you have to pretend like you have things going on, but you can utilize that time that will elevate you to becoming that woman even more. Another thing that you really want to do is avoid FOMO. Now, I know social media, again, is one of those things that really creates this within us, because we're like, dang, I see such and such out doing that. Dang, I see such and such out doing that. And then you're like, I feel like I'm missing out. You are not missing out, okay? You are the main attraction. Never forget that you have to be the woman that you feel like makes the event. You have to be that woman that feels like, I am the main attraction. And if I'm not there, then I'm just not there. Again, not coming from a cocky place, but coming from a confident place, knowing that you're not missing out on anything. If you are with yourself and you are in your element, you are not missing out on anything. I promise you. Girl, the club is gonna be the club. The bars are gonna be the bars. All that stuff is gonna be there when you are going out. Overall, becoming a woman of mystery, not putting all of your business out there, not always being in this place, feeling like that you just have to insert yourself into everything. There is so much value in taking time for yourself and stepping back. And this even creates time for you to work on things that you really want to do. If you're not in the club every weekend, and if you're not hanging out, you know, going drinking and going to brunch, if you're not going out, you know, partying, clubbing, and all of these things, you could be curating things for yourself. You could focus on your personal fitness. You can focus on a goal. You can focus on one of your hobbies. You can focus on, you know, starting that business that you wanted to start. If you want to be on social media, you can focus on creating content. There are so many things that you can do in your spare time that actually add value to you. You could spend that time learning, educating yourself on something. There are so many things that you could be doing that will bring so much value to you than wasting money in the club, wasting money on all these parties. Girl, I promise you, all that stuff will be there. But just, you know, pull back some and be in your own space. Sometimes you just don't want to be at home. Sometimes you may be living in a space that you don't necessarily feel like you want to be home. And a lot of people want to be out the house a lot. And I get that. But if there is something about your space or your home that's keeping you from actually wanting to be home and wanting to be in your space, curate a space that you love to be in, like redecorate a little bit. Now, I know that it's expensive, but there are a lot of things on like Walmart.com, Amazon.com that you can really elevate your space. And you can also do some self-care at home, do some reflecting, do some praying, do some journaling, do some reading, just listen to some music, light some candles, listen to some music, cater to yourself. That is such a beautiful moment. There is one thing that I love, and that's being at home, being fine, being at home. There is something about coming home, doing my self-care, having that glazed skin, you know, lotioning up my body, putting on perfume, wearing something that looks really cute at home, and I'll light my candles and I'll just vibe out. One of my favorite things to do is to just cook at home, find a meal on like TikTok or on Pinterest and recreate it and make like a little luxury night at home. That is one of my favorite things. If you talk to any of my friends, girl, I'm sitting back at home in luxury, okay? Create a space at home where you really feel like that you can thrive. That is a key tip of not feeling FOMO and enjoying being at home, is to create and curate a space that you love. Curate a space that accentuates your womanness and your femininity, and where you just feel like that you don't have to be outside in the streets all the time. You can be at home enjoying your space. Tip number 3, be quick to listen and slow to speak. Now, this is one thing that's kind of goes into the whole oversharing and all of those things, but it gets a little bit deeper. The reason why I say be quick to listen and slow to speak is because you do not have to be the loudest person in the room. When you are that woman, picture somebody walking into a room and their just energy shifts the room. They're walking with confidence, they feel beautiful, and they know they are the main attraction of the event. Girl, you don't have to say much. You do not have to be the loudest person in the room. Normally, the loudest person in the room is overcompensating for something and doesn't need that. You can create an energy about yourself that just draws people to you. Let your presence speak for you. And if you're feeling timid or feeling self-conscious, really take the time to dive into, why do I feel like that I need to be in everybody's face? Why do I feel like that I need to be, talk all the time? You don't have to be. Speak when spoken to. And yes, you can speak up and be the center of attention. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you can definitely scale it back some and draw people into you. That's also part of that, creating that mystery about yourself. Like, you seem approachable, and make sure that you are approachable and not, standoffish, like, oh, I think I'm better than everybody. No, this is not what I mean. I just mean have an aura about you that is approachable yet drawing people in. I'm telling you, somebody who walks in, a woman that walks in and like her fragrance, her outfit, and she just looks confident, people are gonna come up and talk to you, smile, look flirty, just give off a vibe. Okay, you do not have to be the loudest girl in the room. You do not have to be bopping all over the place. You do not have to be in everybody's face. Girl, let them people come to you. Being quick to listen and slow to speak also helps your communication skills and helps develop you personally, because you are able to create a better understanding of things. When you're actively listening, whether that be in conversations, whether that be when you are speaking to your significant other or you're speaking to your friends or your family, it helps you really understand where that person is coming from. This helps to develop you personally because you can respond in a way that you understand more. You can respond with understanding, and this creates a more discerned, more mature version of yourself. That's another big part of becoming that woman. You want to be mature. You want to be developed. You want to be speaking from a place of not emotion all the time. And because I know as women, we are very emotional and we do speak from a place of feeling, and we want to sometimes scale that back and speak from a place of understanding. That is such a big key, especially when it comes to, stepping into like motherhood, womanhood, boss womanhood, all of those things. All of those women, they listen, they close their mouths and they listen. You'll also learn more. Life is about elevation. Life is about growth. Life is about getting better. And if you are constantly talking and speaking, you are never going to be the student. There is so much power in being the student and not always be the smartest person in the room. If you want to really elevate and grow, you won't be the smartest person in the room. You will be surrounded by people who you want to learn from, or people that you want to grow from, or people that motivate you, and you are going to be able to really intake that information. When somebody is having, or if you're in a group of people and you're having a conversation and somebody brings up something that really resonates to you, you want to insert yourself. You want to insert your experience. You want to insert like, oh yeah, I've done that because this, that, and the third. No, just take a pause, listen, and insert yourself when needed. Assert yourself when people are actively asking you questions. This is going to show that you are mature. This is going to show that you can listen. People are going to be drawn to you even more because they're going to know that I don't have to listen to this girl just, talk about herself 24/7. And when she does talk, she has something to say. She has something of value to say that is worth listening to. This will help you grow in your friendships, your relationships, with your family. This is also going to help you professionally, because if you are always talking talking, you are not learning. If you are always talking, you are not listening. And if you are always talking, you are not understanding. Tip number 4, which is one of my favorites, which is prioritize taking care of self. When you are elevating and really thriving and growing to becoming that woman, you are taking care of yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, whether that be going to speak with a therapist, whether that is reading a book, something that is about personal development, something that you've been struggling with personally. If you are struggling with your physical appearance, or if you just want to be healthier, you can prioritize making sure that you're eating healthy meals throughout the week, making sure that you're taking the time to get out and be active and get in the gym, or even just go for a walk, do some yoga or something of that nature. And also, like I mentioned in the tip before, you can really take that time to just love on yourself, care on yourself, do a facial on yourself, do your toes, do your nails. Self-care doesn't always have to be going out and spending money, because let's face it, getting our hair done, getting our nails done, getting our feet done, and all of these things, it costs money, okay? It costs money. And if you're not a girl that really does her makeup like that, and there's nothing wrong with natural skin, girl, my skin actually been flourishing too, if I must say so myself. But if you are somebody who feels like, you know, I have to get my makeup done when I go to things, make sure you take the time out to practice doing your makeup. Watch some makeup tutorials on YouTube. Watch some makeup tutorials on TikTok. Those are things that you can all do to help enhance your self-care. One thing that you can also hone in on is healing. This is going to help you mentally and emotionally when you take a step back to do self-care, not just the physical things, but the internal things. What are the things that are eating at you? What are some of the things that you don't quite like about yourself that you feel like you're carrying through your everyday life, whether it be from past experiences, whether it be a reaction from something that you're currently going through now? How are you working to heal those things? When you want to elevate to become that woman and your highest self, she is a healed woman. And not to say that you have to be perfectly healed before you become that woman, because healing is a lifelong journey. But the more that you work on yourself, and the more that you come into your own, and the more that you become, or the more that you put intention into becoming the best version of yourself, healing is going to happen naturally. You really have to take that time to, and time does not heal all wounds. You have to actually put intention and work into doing that. And all of that comes into self-care, the physical, the internal, all of these things. And once you start to get into a groove of doing this on a normal basis, that is going to help you to become a better woman all the way around. Tip number 5. Now, I also have a video all about this, and I will make sure to link it up here in the cards. But tip number 5 is to create boundaries for yourself and create boundaries for others. Boundaries is so very important. When you are coming into your womanhood, when you are coming into your, I'm grown, like I'm self-sufficient, you really want to create those boundaries. In creating those boundaries for yourself and for others, you are going to fill your cup up to 100%. Your ideal woman, or the woman that is your dream or your highest self, her cup is filled to 100%. If you don't take the time to intentionally create boundaries for yourself and others, you will never be able to pour out from a cup that is 100%. One thing that I always say, and something that I just recently told one of my friends, is that you have to let people get the extra, let people get the spillage. Now, think of a teacup. So you have a teacup and you have your little cup that you plated on. You want to make sure that your cup is full to 100%. And then you want everybody else to get the overflow. If you are not taking the time to create those boundaries, you will constantly be pouring from a cup that is half full or dang near empty. And when you operate from that space, you become hard, you become jaded, you become more of a bitter person. And that is not what our higher self is. That that is not who our higher self is. Our higher self is operating from a space of fullness, of self-knowledge, of loving oneself. And the only way that you can do that is by creating those boundaries. In creating those boundaries, the first thing that you want to learn is to say no. There is so much power in saying no. And I know us as women, especially Black women, we have this innate feeling of having to conquer the world, having to save everyone, having to help everyone, having to show up for everyone. But who is going to show up for you? You have got to be the person to show up for you first. You do not always have to say yes to everything. Before, when people ask you things or when people request things of you, have you checked in with yourself first? Have you checked your schedule? Have you checked your social battery? Have you checked your bank account? Because let's face it, going outside, it's going to cost you about $200, $300. Let's just keep it real. The cost of going out, the cost of being outside and doing for others, let's just say it is high. And I'm not saying that you can't be there for others and that you can't show up for others, but be sure to check in with yourself first. Do you have the capacity and the capability of doing this from a space where you have no problem helping each other? You also want to make sure that you create personal boundaries for yourself. If there is something, let's say a regimen that you have, you're trying to lose a certain amount of weight and you're eating, a certain amount of calories throughout the week, and you have a meal plan that you're sticking to. When somebody calls you and they're like, hey girl, we're going out for drinks and we're going out for dinner, and you just are so quick to say, yeah, why not? Although there's nothing wrong with that, have you checked in with yourself? Have you been on your regimen? Are you going to cross the boundary of stepping outside of your healthy eating just because you want to go out and be there for your friends? You don't always have to say yes. And even if you do, make sure that you create a boundary within yourself. Like, I'm going to stay within these eating parameters. I'm only going to have one drink. You have to respect your boundaries just as much as others. Normally, when people feel drained or when women feel like that they are depleted, they're not respecting your own boundaries. It's not always other people. It may be you. You have got to create that discipline within yourself to adhere to the things that you really value the most. If you really value your alone time, if you really value the time that you spend with God, if you really value the time that you choose to educate yourself, if you really value the time that you are just alone to be, then make sure that you adhere to that. Create standards for yourself that you also follow. You can't expect people to adhere to your standards or to adhere to the things that you feel like are important to you when you don't even do that for yourself. When you create a culture or when you create a space or that muscle memory within yourself that you are adhering to your own standards, you will not accept any and everything from everyone. That is one of the main things that causes people to drain us, because we are allowing them to. We're not sticking to the boundaries that we have from ourselves. And like I was saying, having that cup at 100%, if you are depleting your own cup, people are going to do the same in your life. If you create that motion within your life, that is going to keep on happening. And baby, you cannot be that woman operating from a space of 0. You have to be operating from a space of 80 or better. And if you are not, then I guarantee you there are probably some personal boundaries or some standards that you have not set for yourself that you are not adhering to. Okay, ladies, those are my top 5 tips for becoming that woman. Now, we are just caressing the surface, okay? We are just scratching the surface. This is not the end all be all, but these are definitely some tips that will get you started going in the right direction to elevate to that woman that you've always wanted to be, that successful, that happy, that beautiful, that woman that is confident and full of self-love. That girl is growing up and transforming into that woman. If you enjoyed these tips, or if you know someone who may need it, make sure to share it with them. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And also do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on your post bell notifications so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new growth and mindset sit down video like this one. And also do not forget to slide on over to Instagram and follow me there at _Kee Samone, as well as on TikTok. And yes, thank you you for sharing space with me today. I cannot wait to upload my next video, so make sure that you stay tuned, and I will just see you all in the next one.
I don't mean to, I don't mean to, I don't mean to, I don't mean to, but tell me what you say now, tell me what you say.